It's Seeing Red, the New York Soccer Roundup. Since 2010, your weekly source for independent New York Red Bulls news and opinion. Now, from the Joe Goldstein studio, here's your host, Mark Fishkin.
Seeing Red is officially a Red Bulls 2 podcast to honor the great Joe Goldstein and his Rising Bulls show of years ago. We are so in on Red Bulls 2. The Red Bulls 2 goes into halftime last Saturday in Harrison, down 1-0. And in the second half, it was all Red Bulls and all Roald Mitchell scoring 2 azos en route to an Eastern Conference crown in MLS Next Pro. And this Saturday night, the team plays for a cup, for MLS Next Pro Cup. Tonight on Seeing Red, we're going to talk about the game. We're going to have an exclusive conversation with Roald Mitchell. Then we'll come back and give our predictions. I'm Mark. He's Dan over there. We may see Mike Batista tonight. Dan, it was a surprisingly large and rowdy crowd in Harrison on Saturday night.
Yeah, I think the whole plan was for, if they made it this far in the competition, was always to go to Red Bull / Sports Illustrated Stadium. And, obviously they're not filling the whole stadium. That was never going to happen. But if you're able to get a couple of thousand people in the stadium, the team's playing on grass, just a better overall experience in this real big stadium, I think it was a success for them. Took them a bit longer to build into the game, but overall, I think the crowd was having a good time. I think the players enjoyed the experience, and one more win, and they could be MLS Cup Next Pro champions.
Yeah, we've kind of really fallen for this team over this playoff run. Now, mind you, is finishing first in the East. They've had every game at home, and because the top seed St. Louis went out earlier in the tournament, New York is facing the third seed in the West, and that's Colorado Rapids 2 for MLS Next Pro Cup. If you're a Red Bulls fan, there's so much to get excited about the future of the team, not only because of the number of first-team players that are playing for the Twos, but also a number of players that you could see. Now, obviously, the level of play in MLS Next Pro is not MLS, right? Yep. But who on the team, and we're going to talk about Roald Mitchell in a minute, but who on the team have impressed you during this playoff run?
I mean, for me personally, it was Andy Rojas this whole playoff. He's just taken his game to another level that I hadn't seen all season long, covering the second team. He's shown flashes of his ability, his dribbling ability, his finishing ability all season long, but his consistency was lacking, and he just wasn't dominating to the level that I expected of him, especially coming from the Costa Rican First Division. But since the playoffs have started, I mean, his game has elevated. Not only is he dribbling, scoring. I mean, he's doing all that offensively, but it's what he's doing off the ball, running back to stop counterattacks. He's playing defense. I mean, he's just linking up play better. I think he's seeing the game the best he has all season long, and he's definitely an interesting player to look forward to next season, especially just at a winger position that was very anemic last year. And he brings that directness with the ball at his feet towards goal, opposed to some other guys that, are a bit more cautious that we've seen this year. But, him and Rafael Mosquera, they bring that dynamic element on the ball that you just don't see with the first team and their wingers. So I've been very excited with Andy Rojas this playoffs.
Yeah, no, excited about Rojas as well. Audrey Mehmeti, the 16-year-old captain of this team, had assists on both of Roald Mitchell's goals in the second half. And we encourage you to go find the replays of these goals, because this was, I mean, Roald Mitchell, and we're going to talk to him about it, is on his way back from ACL surgery. Meniscus, right. Yeah, big injury to him. And he is playing with an amount of confidence right now. Red Bulls 2 as you said, Dan, they grew into the game. It was pretty evident during the first 20 minutes. Philadelphia really kind of came at them and took their shot early. And Red Bull, I'm just going to call them the Red Bulls because I can't
That's
stand
fine. Yeah.
people call them Red Bulls too. And on the broadcast, it's like, yeah, we know it's Red Bulls too. New York, it looked like they were feeling out the size of the pitch, which is clearly larger than the pitch at MSU.
So much bigger.
So much bigger, and playing on grass versus turf meant that the ball was moving a little bit slower, I think, than the team liked. And credit to Philly. I mean, Philly's always got a tough team. New York went down 1-0, and for a few minutes in the first half, and the Red Bulls grew into the game, we started to see the same kind of cycling from corner to corner that was the frustrating hallmark of the first team. And I think in the second half, I mean, whether it was a change in tactic or whether it was Roald calling for the ball, I mean, these were 2 Route 1 goals that the Red Bulls scored, where it was, I mean, Roald is a big guy, and it was like, get me the ball and it's going in the net. And I haven't seen as dominant a game from a single player for the Red Bulls in since the days of Henry, to be fair.
Yeah, and I mean, I think we saw it live. That credit to Philly, like you said, they came out and pressed Red Bull 100%.
Yeah,
for the whole half. And you know what? I think in the end that cost them, because clearly in the second half they were gassed.
Yeah,
like there was a point in time where Red Bull, were in their half for 30 minutes, for a whole half hour. Like Philly could not escape. They couldn't clear the ball past the halfway line. Red Bull kept winning it back. And I think, Philly gassed themselves out. And I think that's what Red Bull was kind of doing after they went down 1-0, right? They saw the press and they saw they couldn't play their style of football that they want to, where it's building up through the middle and, playing it out to the wings or through to Roald Mitchell. So I think they were just going back and forth, like you were saying, kind of just tiring Philly out and just waiting for their moment. And it took longer than most people were expecting. They were going Route 1, like they played as many long balls that one game that I've seen really all season long. And so, like, when you come out for the second half and there was they went back to their style, it's because, they were the fresher team. They were just the better team in that second half. I mean, you talked about Adri Mehmeti. I mean, that's the same exact pass that he played to Julian Hall in the U15 MLS
national game. National championship game.
Same exact pass. Like,
yes,
he told me after, he was like, same exact pass. So I mean, he's got that in his wheelhouse. I mean, his ceiling is through the roof. I mean, just for him being 16, being the captain of his team, I mean, he just shows that leadership on the pitch. He's always talking to the ref. He's always standing up for his teammates. He is playing that defensive mid role that you would have seen from Tyler Adams, except he's bringing a much larger offensive presence where he's building through the midfield. He's taking the ball from the center backs and bringing it up. So he's definitely another one to watch for next year, because I think next year he's going to be fully integrated into this team. Whether that's Peter Stroud leaving, whether that's Daniel Edelman leaving, they're going to make room for this kid, because I think he can play with the first team right now.
Yeah. I mean, and you talk about Mascara, right, as first team. You talk about Benedetti. Most likely reports are that he's going to be getting a first team contract. You talk about Julian de Guzman being very, very vocal during his intro presser about Red Bulls 2 are playing the way that we want to play as a team. I thought that, jumping to the post-game presser, I mean, Michael Bradley, I know that every coach has a different style with the way they talk to the press. And it may be wrong of me to expect a clone of Bob Bradley, who is very much we are inside the team, you are outside of the team. You don't know what's happening inside of the team. I will tell you what's happening inside of the team. Your notions are not correct. But Michael was as warm and thoughtful about his answers and talked about what leading this team has meant to him and how he's learned from the team, and he's trying to teach them to be the best versions of themselves every day. I mean, post if it is meant to be that Michael Bradley gets the tab to be the first team coach, the press is going to get home late every night because he is like,
he talked for 15 minutes.
Folks, let's everyone pull up a
And
chair.
there might have been like 6 questions.
My Lord.
He just kept going. We love it. I mean, it's great to go from, coaches that keep their answers short. They'll give us some nuggets here and there, but Michael Bradley's a talker and he explains everything thoroughly. He's always thinking on the podium. So, I mean, it's definitely a breath of fresh air.
Yeah. I mean, he's so thoughtful, willing to take 10 seconds of silence as he gathers his thoughts. You and I didn't get to talk about what happened last week with the changes at the top, and I think it's a good opportunity to do that now. Do you think, I mean, here Julian Guzman is saying, we want a coach that knows MLS. We want a coach that's familiar. We all know that Jim Curtin's out there. From what reports are, he might be interested. If, I don't know if the outcome on Saturday means anything, but I mean, is Michael Bradley going to be the next coach of this team?
It's interesting, right? I think, for all the resources that they poured in, hiring Michael in the first place for Red Bull 2, it took him 6 months. Like, they were pursuing him for 6 months to get him to be at this job, right? And this is just my opinion. I think he's always been tabbed to be the next, first team manager, except it might just come a year early, because I think Jochen was going to stay another year, right? And once he left, I feel like Sandro was going to follow. Like, they were just it was going to be a full, new coach, new sporting director, right? It just came a year early. And I think if they think this highly of Michael to, pursue him for 6 months, he's performing like better than I expected. Like, this is his first head coaching job, and the players respect him. He's getting the best out of them. Like, to go from a coach like Ibrahim Sagaya, who's a great coach in himself, right, to go and then take this team and not like lose a beat, I think it just shows how good of a coach Michael is. And I think if he goes to the first team, it's like, he's Michael Bradley. You have to respect him. And it's not like he's just a player and he's a bad coach. Like, he's not doing the coaching responsibilities. Like, he's
son of a coach.
He's getting the best out of his players. And I think he'd be a real, beneficial, hire for this team, especially if you're like Red Bull. You're looking at this as a Red Bull global thing, right? I think they looked at Michael Bradley as maybe a potential future Leipzig coach, right? So you get him this opportunity. Maybe, it's not going to be, sunshines and roses next year, right? In his first year. But I think if they think that he's the guy, hire him. I don't see why you would just hire Jim Curtin because you don't think Michael Bradley's ready or he's like a year out from being ready. Just hire him now and give him the backing.
The interesting thing is, we talked about this last week, Red Bull coaches tend to stay for 3 to 4 years. And I don't know if I see Michael Bradley waiting his turn
exactly
with the 2 team for 3 to 4 years. We also heard from the presser how much Michael seems to love coaching young players. And it's a very different game when you're coaching men than when you're coaching boys, which is the point that Mike Batista made last week. And it obviously is. But the Red Bulls are such a youth-oriented team. You would think that being a World Cup icon for the U.S. would certainly gain the respect of both Chupo and Emil Forsberg are consummate pros, and he's the coach, and off you go, right? That's not going to be an issue. It would not surprise me at this point if Michael Bradley is the guy, considering the number of his players that I think we all imagine will work their way into the first team over the next few years. Again, Julian knows Michael really well, brought him over through this whole process into Red Bull. So, I mean, they certainly could do worse. And also, when you consider the fact that Curtin stayed for a decade in Philly, as long as he's successful, I mean, Michael's certainly not going to wait a decade on the 2 team. Um,
And
do
just
you
to
want?
touch,
Yeah,
Julian hired him in the first place,
right.
and
That's
now he's
right.
doing another coaching hire. I think I was told that Michael Bradley is one of the favorites.
He should be.
Maybe there is a couple of guys from the outside that are giving, Red Bull the, hey, we're interested in the job too. But I think Michael Bradley's going to have every opportunity to get this job, especially with Julian now being the head of sport. So I think
Yeah.
that relationship is big. Just my only thing is, if you hire Michael Bradley, Red Bull has to give him the backing to get the players that he wants, him and
Yep.
Julian want, because you can't just give him the same roster. Like, this roster needs to be better, especially in Michael's first year. You need to give him all the resources to be successful. I'm not saying give him a blank check, but you got to give him money to go buy certain players that he wants on his team, especially with him bringing up a bunch of youth players. Because
Yeah.
I think, a handful of these guys are coming up in the first team anyway. So
Yeah. I want to talk about the Colorado Rapids, but first let's take a breather. We're going to come back and then we're going to get into the actual game that's going down Saturday night at Red Bull Arena. I said it, dollar in the jar, Sports Illustrated Stadium, but there is a game to be played. So we're going to come back and we're going to talk about specifics about the game. What you're going to hear next is our interview with Roald Mitchell. Then we'll come back and talk about the game. So hang with us. Stay tuned. We're at the New York Soccer Roundup. Red Bull fans are really, really excited, not just because Red Bulls 2 has a chance to do something that hasn't been done in almost 10 years, but the play of tonight's guest during this playoff run has been phenomenal. He is a local Jersey guy. He is a first-team signee who is making the most of his return to injury and looking to make a stamp on Red Bulls 2 history, and I would imagine Red Bulls history, and that's Roald Mitchell. How are you, Roald?
I'm good. I'm good. Glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
I'm glad you're here as well. You are as homegrown-y as it gets from being born and raised in Montclair, New Jersey, and playing a lot of the 2 games at MSU. Talk a little bit about how important soccer was growing up, and who was your big influence as a kid playing soccer in Montclair?
Yeah, I mean, growing up in Montclair, it's a decent soccer community, but I think I got my initial inspiration from my brother and my dad for sure. Definitely just like watching my brother's games just got me excited, and then I just couldn't wait to start as soon as I could. And also my dad playing has some experience as well, but not my dad did pursued track, but he also did soccer too. But he found a better career path in track, but his career ended short. But yeah, definitely when I saw my brother playing, I definitely just started want to take off from there.
Fantastic. And you started at PDA, right? Or did you start like on the fields of Montclair United and
I
made the jump from there?
found the fields of Montclair United. It wasn't in Montclair; it was called STFC at the time.
Sure.
Yeah, so I was there with some other guys that played pro too and MLS. But yeah, I started there for a while. I was there from around my youth to like U10, and then my move to PDA came when my brother moved. He moved first, and then I decided to follow his footsteps and went to PDA too.
A little bit of a schlep down to Central Jersey, huh?
Yeah.
A couple of times a week, I would imagine you're making
Exactly.
the trip. That is not a short trip.
Yeah, definitely not, especially with that traffic.
Yeah. So you're at PDA, and I know from talking to guys in the past like Brian White and Danny Edelman, who had some engagement there, that
Mhm.
there's a big rivalry, especially in kind of like the pre-academy days
Yeah.
of PDA versus Red Bulls.
Mhm.
So you played against Red Bull teams
Yeah.
before you joined Red Bulls. What was that like for you?
Yeah, I mean, PDA and Rebel usually go at it a lot. I mean, really competitive relationship between the two. But whenever those games came about, we knew it was going to be like a scrappy, rough game. But yeah, I mean, I used to play with PDA with Dan. I just remember those games. It was a constant, just back and forth, fighting, tackles, flying through, goals. It's a lot of mixed emotions through those games. But yeah, once you step on that field, though, it's a whole different story for sure. But
For sure. I know that you told me last week before you guys played Philly that you and Stas, the big scorer at PDA on Philly, you guys were teammates for a little while. So you made the jump to Red Bulls Academy. And when did you know, Rold, that like this could really happen for you? Like, was it kind of preordained? Like, yeah, I'm going to do this and I'm going to play for the two team. I know college is ahead of me, but like, how old were you when you said I can do this professionally?
Yeah, it was all kind of unexpected because I wasn't ever expecting to lead PDA. I wasn't really ready for that change yet. But I think it all hit me at once. I kind of like looking at the footsteps through other players. Like at the time, it was probably like Derek Etienne at the time.
Yep.
Tyler Adams was there. So I mean, I saw like there was like a pathway to pro. So my mindset kind of changed in a way. So I would say moving there the first year was definitely difficult, just adjusting to the system, style of play. But I think moving into my U17 year, U18 year, I just started to get accustomed to the work there and the play style. And my main goal was to get to that second team as fast as possible, right before COVID. But then that hit. But
Sure.
yeah, getting to the second team was one of my biggest goals before moving to college for sure.
Did you always know you were going to college?
It was mixed. It was a mixed decision. I talked to my parents about it, but I think I wanted to pursue an education first. I always thought that was important for me, especially when soccer is over, because you're not gonna be doing that forever. But yeah, I think college was definitely. I was leaning towards that more than signing for sure.
And you could certainly do worse than Wake Forest. I've been on that campus. It is stupendous and obviously a fantastic soccer pedigree as well there.
Lovely campus. Yeah, I miss that place so much.
Yeah, so you excelled at Wake, ACC powerhouse.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're back home in Jers, and you sign the first team contract, and then you start to get some minutes with the first team. Not too many, but then the bad injury. Talk to us about talk to us about the injury, and I mean it's been a journey for you to get back to where you are.
Definitely. I mean, like I said, the injury was very unexpected. You don't really go into a game scoring 4 goals and then expecting an injury to happen. I mean, it's like the most heartbreaking thing ever. Then I get to the doctor. I didn't know it was my ACL at the time. It was my ACL, and I'm like, okay. And then I hear the recovery process behind it, and then he was like, "You're out for the season." And then the emotions just fall. But was out for a year. Definitely one of the most stressful years for the last year. I mean, team did good, obviously. I mean, I love seeing the team do good. But just being on that side and just like watching, wishing you could be there is also just like such a demoralizing moment for sure.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the current Red Bull team has had its share of devastating injuries. Talk to us about like which was harder, was coming back from the injury from a physical standpoint through therapy and slowly working your way back, or was it more of the mental aspect of I'm separated from the team, I'm not a part of the team, I'm part of this cadre of players that know that they want to contribute so badly? Which was the toughest for you?
I say definitely the mental aspect of it. I mean, you just constantly being away from the team was just so hard in itself. I mean, I had some other players too. I mean, one guy I look up to a lot is Lewis Morgan because I know great player and I just love watching him play and just seeing how his injuries take over. I mean, I remember watching his documentaries of him, his comeback player of the year. That's something I really watched a lot. Try to get me through my injury as well. So credit to him and what he's going through. I know he's going through something right now, but I know he'll be back soon and better. So
yeah. So it's really, really strange for a first place team to make a coaching change. And yet that's just what happened with Red Bulls 2. Ibra Sagaya gets the tap on the shoulder. It's like, come on up to the first team. And in comes, I mean, Jersey soccer has some incredible stories in it. But Michael Bradley is, for a generation of US soccer fans, is literally the guy.
Yeah.
And here he is Talk to us a little bit about making that change. And I know at the same time you're making your comeback and you're getting back healthy and you're starting to get minutes, but talk about the differences between working with Ibra and working with Michael.
Yeah, I mean, Ibra kind of left, and Michael just picked right off where he started. So, I mean, I wouldn't wish there wasn't much of a change. I think they both had the similar ideas in terms of how they want to play soccer and how they want to approach it. Michael definitely, everyone was there. Everyone's honestly shocked. Wasn't expecting, Michael Bradley to be the coach. Kind of just came out of nowhere, and I was like, wow. But yeah, I was still coming back from injury while Michael came in. But watching him and how he takes some of the details in soccer, like he's really specific in what he does, and each position too is not just one position. Each position he takes it pretty serious in what you do, how you're supposed to do certain things. But I think Michael just touches up on things a little bit more differently, and we really harped on that a lot through the season. And look where we are now. So
I can't imagine telling Michael Bradley that you're kind of tired or that it's not a good day for you.
yeah,
Like when I mean Michael Bradley when he played for the US, I mean he was one of these guys that the honor of playing for the shirt was everything, and it's hard to imagine being Bob Bradley's son and not thinking that way.
hmm
Um, what have you learned from him? And, he said in the post-game presser this week that, he learns from you guys. So what have you learned from him specifically? And then maybe what have you taught him?
yeah. I mean, as a coach, he just came from so much. I think everyone's just like learning like the professionalism from him, like that professionalism side from him. I think everyone's just like trying to pick their moments on how they want to develop, and he's really good with developing players too. I mean, the way for example, Audrey. I mean, he's same position, and
Right.
they're really talking each day. How they play the same position, but he talks to everybody, and he teaches us things every day that we don't know, and we just harp on that a lot. So yeah.
And then what has he learned from you guys?
I mean, I think he's getting to realize how fast we like kind of adapt to his style of coaching. I mean, I think that kind of caught him from surprise. I mean, we're having a really good year, so I mean, I think he's getting accustomed to that and the speed of how we learn and how we develop as players.
That's great.
Yeah.
So the playoffs start and you are contributing role in a way that I think would really, really excite fans of the first team.
Yeah.
You're scoring goals. Walk us. We talked a little bit about this after the game
hmm
on Saturday, but like you go into halftime, you're down 1-0, and Coach Bradley said there was no panic, there was no concern. We just had to play our game. How did walking off? You're down 1-0 in a knockout game. Talk to us a little bit about what that was like and your confidence going forward in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, coming down 1-0, obviously be coming to the locker room with not the greatest emotions, but I think Michael said it best. I think we just needed to play our football, and that's what we did. I think one thing he said that really made us refocus was that we had to stay calm on the ball. I think we were really hesitant on the ball in the first half, and we weren't really playing our soccer, and that really frustrated us a lot. And we just really needed to calm down, and things would have opened up. But yeah, I think we started off the second half really strong. We were watching a video today, and it just looked so much more different on camera than in the game. But yeah, the way we started the game, second half was just it's like a different team, different mentality going into that second half.
The goals that you scored were um, of a quality that I think, I mean, having watched both of them live, just phenomenal, exciting goals. Is it? And I know Audrey was involved in getting you the ball.
hmm
Talk to us about going into the final MLS Next Pro Cup on Saturday. Talk to us about the level of confidence you've got right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm honestly buzzing for sure. I mean, I think you could tell, but I think the whole group and all. I think once I see the whole group has confidence, then I'll definitely have even more confidence. So, I mean, the way the group was trained today and the way we came for region, we all came with a smile. So hopefully we get the result we want. But I just know we're gonna just try our best and see what happens.
What was it like? I mean, you've played at Red Bull Arena in a first team game. Talk to us a little bit about what it was like moving from Montclair to Harrison for the game this past Saturday. Audrey was like, I had no idea how many people were that came out to see us. I would imagine that's only going to be more this Saturday. Talk to us about what it was like to get that kind of crowd support.
Yeah, definitely different vibe, different atmosphere. But like I said, that support was like enough for me. I mean, that was a lot, but hopefully I'm expecting more next Saturday. But that was something that caught me off guard for sure. And I think that atmosphere kind of changed the tone and how we played a little bit too. I mean, we came to that half flying, and everyone was rah, so I mean, it was really good atmosphere at the arena.
You wear number 33. Is there a story behind that number?
I just have a really close relationship with the number 3.
Okay.
Yeah, so I decided to choose 33. Yeah, that was my PDA number.
Okay.
My number in college was 9. 3 times 3 is 9. My birthday's on the 13th, so I mean 3, and then my parents are 13 years apart. Yeah, I think that's it for now.
The magic number 3.
Yeah, 3 is the magic number, so I had to do something with that. Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Do you think, is it safe to say that you feel that you've made a case to go into training camp next spring as a guy that's going to be shooting for a regular first team slot?
It's a tough question. I mean, I would want to say yes, but I think I still have a lot more to prove. I think as a young player still, we have great strikers in Chupo,
Yeah,
Victor, and Lewis, of course. Jules too. I mean, those guys proved a lot in their career so far. So I mean, I'm only a step behind them, but I'm learning from them, learning from everyone else. But I'm trying to do as best as I could, and we'll see what happens.
Well, for Saturday's opportunity to lift a cup and to win a knockout tournament is obviously, as you know, something that the first team hasn't done yet. So I think lifting a cup at home, not to take anything away from a Colorado team that I'm sure is going to be a challenge for you, but I think it's safe to say that you guys are clearly favorites playing at home.
Mm-hmm.
Any message to the fans who are on the fence about possibly coming out this weekend?
Yeah, it's gonna be a good game. You guys are always gonna be there to support us, and we appreciate you guys so much, of course. So we just want the same energy that you gave us last time. We're gonna put on even a better performance.
Phenomenal. Roald Mitchell wears number 33 for the Red Bulls and Red Bulls 2. And Roald, it's been great getting to know you tonight. And best of luck on Saturday. Bring it home, as they say.
Of course. Thank you. See you there.
All right. We've got more Seeing Red coming up after this short break. Keep it here. That guitar riff. Seeing Red, the New York Soccer Roundup. We're a Red Bulls 2 podcast this week from the Joe Goldstein studio. It's only fitting. This is the third time that Red Bull Arena / Sports Illustrated Stadium will be home to a professional final. It was the NPSL U23s that won back in 2014. That team did have Sean Davis on it. Then a few years later, it was Red Bulls 2 winning the USL Cup on a night where the Red Bulls first team played in Philadelphia, and famously the supporters bus broke down on the way back and kept everyone on that bus from attending that interesting doubleheader, which prompted me to never take the supporters bus ever again. And then this will be the third time playing MLS Next Pro Cup. And if you're a Red member, here's the best part of it. Your tickets are free. Just call your ticket rep and you can come on Saturday night to see a final with the Stars of Tomorrow playing Colorado Rapids 2 for a chance of Division 3 immortality. I'm not going to do the graphical workup, but Colorado Rapids 2 was the third team in the West in MLS West, MLS Next Pro West. They also came from behind, taking down the Loons 2 in the Western Conference Final. Dan has told me that they are an older team than the Red Bulls too. Is that right?
Yeah, based on their lineup from last game, it looks like their average age is closer to 21. So it's going to be interesting. I think Philly kind of showed a template of how to kind of stifle Red Bull, and that's to be very physical on their wing players. Andy Rojas and Rafael Mosquera were beat up that first half. It really took a toll on them. So I think if their wingbacks are able to just be physical with those two wingers, I think Red Bull might have a slower start again.
Well, yes, and perhaps they. I mean, listen, they were given a blueprint, Colorado, on how to make things difficult. Important to note: the Red Bulls are the top home team in the entire league, with going 10-1-3 at MSU this year, and of course, they've been undefeated at 2 games at MSU and the 1 game in Harrison as well. Colorado during the regular season, a very, very strong road team, going 8-3-3 away from, I guess they play at Dick's Sporting Goods Park. But interesting, because the MLS Next Pro is a cost containment league. The Eastern and Western teams don't actually play each other during the regular season. So for New York, it's home cooking and sleeping in their own beds. For Colorado, it's the coming together of a team on the road against all odds. And so, I mean, it's exciting. If you're around, like I said on Saturday, there's no reason not to come out and support. And if Roald Mitchell has the kind of game that they've had, I mean, to be clear, in the 2 playoff games before the final, 5 goals from New York in each of them, albeit 2 in extra time against Chicago, and then 2 Roald Mitchell, Azos against Philly. I mean, what are you looking for in this game? And to be clear, the idea that we're going to give a detailed look at a 2 team from the other side of the country is not really happening here.
Yeah, I think, if Red Bull is able to get to their game, and that's just being a better team than their opposition in midfield, because I think that midfield is really talented from Red Bull. I mean, Nguyen Benedetti is going to be a first-team player. Yeah. I mean, Audrey Mehmeti, already a first-team player. And then they have Nate Wirth, who's kind of flown under the radar. He's back from Tampa Bay on loan for the rest of the year. So, he's a former academy guy, and he looked really good. I mean, this playoffs, he's really shown up. I think it took him a bit longer to get back into the rhythm of things after not playing with Tampa this year. But I mean, that trio in midfield is something special to watch each game this playoffs. Like they dictate the game so much for Red Bull. So when the ball is connecting in between those 3, I mean, there's really no stopping this team, because the ball is eventually going to get to one of the wingers. They're going to be direct towards goal, or it's going to get to Roald Mitchell, and Roald's going to finish or power you off the ball. So it's going to be interesting. Matthew Dos Santos also plays at left back, and I mean, he's a dynamic left back as well, getting up and down the wing. I mean, he's the one that got the assist on Roald's first goal, where, I mean, we need to touch on that first goal a bit more.
The touch that Mitchell showed, pulling the ball out of the air.
It's his weak foot. He stretched out his left leg, full stretch out to bring it down right in front of him. The ball didn't go anywhere except right in front of him. It's setting him up so perfect for his weak foot finish, just overpowering the goalkeeper. So, I mean, Red Bull has the talent. It's just going to be, can they survive an older and physical team like they kind of did with Philly being a physical team themselves? So if they can do that, I think Red Bull can easily win this game by multiple goals.
The player that we haven't talked about this week that I think is made as big of a contribution as anyone in the win against Philly is Austin Causey. Mm-hmm. Austin Causey is the starting goalkeeper for New York because Aiden Stokes is away with the U.S. U17 national team. I think they play tomorrow in their first game.
Yep.
In that
World Cup.
That tournament's World Cup. And I was very taken after the match with Audrey Mehmeti's mention about Austin Causey, because here's a guy that's way down in the depth chart. He made a couple of phenomenal stops against Philly to keep New York in the game early. To be clear, there were a couple of opportunities that Philly probably should have scored and taken a 2-0 lead.
Yeah.
They didn't. But at the same time, Mehmeti had said that Causey, even when he wasn't the starter, was very, very vocal with this team, providing veteran leadership and letting them know, especially the back line, about where they need to go and what they need to do. And so if there's an unsung hero on this team during this playoff run, you could definitely look to Austin Causey, who, again, not the first choice goalkeeper, but yet he will absolutely be in net on Saturday. So big props to him.
I just will say about Austin, I mean, he definitely needed that game last weekend, because the game against Chicago, he was struggling a bit, I will say, where he made a save and just fumbled it.
Yes, right into the path of the attacker. Yeah.
He definitely needed that game. I think seeing those type of late game saves or late game actions for him definitely boosted confidence. I would like him just to be a bit more aggressive in his box. Sometimes he's a bit too cautious, but I mean, he did what he needed to do in that Philly game. Red Bull get out there with a win. They're one game away, and Austin Causey, a 24-year-old who was playing with Tulsa the year prior with Nate Worth, by the way. They were on the same team. And he's been the backup all year. He's played on, a different couple occasions when Aiden Stokes hasn't been here. So one win away from him being a legend for the club right here. So, and he's an awesome dude as well. I mean, just being, knowing his role, trying to help Aiden Stokes throughout the season, both the young goalkeepers. So it would be really nice to see Austin lift MLS Next Pro Cup.
And for old heads like me, you have figured out, as we talk about Austin Causey, that he is the son of former MLS OG Jeff Causey, who was a goalkeeper for DC United and some other teams during the early days of MLS. So we have now reached the point where the sons of players like Ariel Lassiter and, it's literally the next generation, and exciting to see the kids coming up, and the kids are all right. So, all right, let's close it out. Your prediction for MLS Next Pro Cup, the Red Bulls' first time in this competition.
I think they come out with a victory. They will raise a second banner at MSU next to their USL championship. They'll finally get their star back on their badge. And I think the victory will be 4-1.
4-1. I'm going to call it a little bit more nail-bitey. I'm going to call it a 2-1 win, equal to what we saw in the Eastern Conference Final. But at the end of the day, I mean, not everyone on this team can drink. I'd be curious if they have. I don't know what Audrey Mehmeti will have the sparkling cider.
Sparkling cider.
Sparkling cider in the locker room. But it's been a real joy, Dan, after this disappointing first team season, to have this second team make a run, and it's a reason to feel good about the team for the future. It's a reason to be excited about Michael Bradley's contribution to the franchise after being a Metro star at age 16, coming in and making a difference for the kids of this area and the international players that have been brought in around them. So we have to cherish good things when they happen, and this has been really fun, and it gives us more reason to talk, and that's fun too.
Yeah. One more. My
first MLS Next Pro Cup. Who knew? Perhaps we'll be back next week to talk about this team. We're obviously watching the first team news very carefully, as always. So Dan, we haven't talked about this in a long time. Where can folks find you on the internet?
You can find me at Area Sports Network for Red Bull coverage. You can find me at Bad Dog Sports for Army football and hockey coverage as well.
Let's go.
And on YouTube as well, with some interviews that I've done with the Red Bull 2 guys, Metro Energy Soccer. Just look it up on YouTube. I've done Audrey Mehmeti, Roald Mitchell, Matthew Dos Santos, Tanner Rossborough, etc., Aiden Stokes as well. So go watch those. Get some love there.
You are carrying on the tradition of our friend Joe Goldstein, and that is really, really appreciated, because the Stars of Damar deserve the coverage. So thank you, Dan. He's Dan. I'm Mark. Thanks to Roald Mitchell for stopping by. That was really great to get to know him a little bit. And we will be back soon enough. So please, if you're free Saturday night, If you're a Red member, the tickets are free. If you're not, I think they're $11.
Yeah, I think they're like $11. So
$11 to come see Stars tomorrow in a championship game at Sports Illustrated Stadium. Come on out. Seeing Red, signing off. Thanks, guys. Have a great night.